Hi, I'm Kathy Stipe, a member of the Brother Education team. Today we will be using the VSonic pen. It is a standard accessory with the BQ3100. The VSonic pen is only found on the BQ3100 in the Quilt Club series. You can use it for setting the guideline as a reference, setting the needle position, adjusting the stitch width, and setting the end point of a stitch pattern. It is as easy as touch and sew. The sensor pen touch range extends approximately 200 millimeters or 7 7/8 inches towards you from the needle drop point, and 130 millimeters or 5 inches to either side of the center needle position. Let's see how it works. The VSonic pen should be calibrated for each user. The full instructions can be found in the manual. Select the character decorative stitch icon. There are 729 stitches in the utility and decorative stitches in the machine to choose from. Under character decorative stitch category, select the subcategory 6. Stitch 6-007. With the VSonic pen, you can set an endpoint for your seam. Touch the sensor function key. A pop-up will appear where you have 4 choices: setting the guideline as a reference for your sewing position, setting the needle position of your straight stitch, adjust the width and left-right shift position of a zigzag or decorative stitch, and setting the end point of a stitch pattern sequence. Choose endpoint sewing. By using endpoint sewing, your stitch will end where you designate. This feature is great for the quilter or garment sewer when you need to stop at a given point, such as a partial seam. With the sensor pen, touch the location on your fabric for the endpoint. The distance from the current needle position to the touched location appears. It shows how many times you need to touch the end point, once or twice. If the needle drop point is within 70 millimeters or approximately 2 3/4 inches from the sewing end point, the machine will not require the second touch. If the needle drop point is greater than 100 millimeters or approximately 4 inches from the selected end point using the sensor pen, a more accurate position can be specified the second time the point is touched. You have 2 options at this point. Either have the machine stop with the length adjusted for a full repeat of the stitch, or to end the stitch on the marked point, even if the stitch design is not complete. When selecting the option of a full repeat of the design, the machine will adjust the stitch design to end with a full repeat. The VSonic pen can also be used to set the stitch width. Select the utility stitch category. Touch subcategory 2 and choose stitch 2-15, the rickrack stitch. Touch the sensor function key. choose the third icon, Stitch Width Setting. The stitch width can be used with utility stitches and character decorative stitches. By using the VSonic pen to adjust the stitch width on your fabric or project reduces the need to test stitch. What a time saver. And you can make these stitches as large as 7 millimeters. With the VSonic pen, touch the first point for the stitch width on the left of your seam. Select OK to set. With the VSonic pen, touch the second point for the stitch width on the right side of the seam. Select OK to set the second point. This is a great feature when you are doing applique or you need your stitch width to fall at a particular point on your project. Look how perfectly that stitch covers the seam using the stitch width setting. With the VSonic pen, you can adjust your stitching based on your fabric or project rather than trial and error adjustments and test sewing. End your stitches precisely where you want them. Set the width and/or starting point. It is simple as touch and sew with the VSonic pen in the BQ3100 sewing and quilting machine. Thank you for joining me today.